Anticipation of the show puts you on edge. The music shifts you, you can't get it out of your head.
Hello and welcome to our new show, FireRock Talk. I'm Tom Collier. I'm the host of the show, and each week I'm going to bring in on special guest co-hosts. Tonight, my special guest co-host is going to be Jason JRock Houston, who we have a big history together. We met a long time ago. Jason, why don't we talk about how we met and our little history together and what we've done in the past?
Okay, well, Tom, I met you, of course, through your band Held Hostage, and how Tom and I initially hooked up was through a mutual friend, publicist Michael Brandville, who's a big publicist in the music industry. He's given me a lot of great interviews over years, but that's how I initially hooked up with Tom, and I was interviewing Tom, 2 or 3 times on my own site, which was Catacris at the time, and after interviewing Tom a couple times, I was looking for a new co-host for the This Is Metal show, and I thought of like 3 people right off the top of my head. One was Sean Peck, and he turned it down just because he was so busy. And then the next person came to mind was Tom, and I reached out to him, and without any hesitation, Tom accepted the offer, and we've been doing the show together for 2 years, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, why don't we talk about how we've changed, how things have evolved and things have changed. You've got a new show out there. Let's talk a little about your new show, J-Rock's Babylon.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was looking to launch my own channel, and obviously you need a name, a catchy name, and it didn't come to me right away. In fact, I pulled out a couple like CDs that I had in my bedroom, and one was a LA Guns album, and it said that one of the songs of Babylon, and then another song that I used to love years ago from the band Faster Pussycat was Babylon. I think, okay, God's trying to tell me something here. And then I've been known as the name JRock for like the last 17 years. In fact, it's something that kind of happened organically. Tom, people that I would interview, fellow musicians, they would start referring me to JRock without even me prompting them to do so. And I thought, okay, there's something here to that. So I thought, okay, they already know who JRock is. JRock's Babylon. It's got a nice ring. And then I started playing around with AI, and which I'm not, I'm kind of new to, like a lot of people. And I thought, yellow and black, those colors kind of are nice and bright, and they go together, look flashy. And I came up with the logo that you see behind me now. And we just literally launched JRock's Babylon in August of 2025, which oddly enough, Tom, is the 2-year anniversary that you and I have been doing This Is Metal for the last 2 years together.
Awesome. Excellent. Well, this new show, we should talk a little bit about what I'm going to be doing at this show. It's not just about music. It's going to be people in the entertainment industry. It could be a top producer. It could be another record company executive. It could be an actor or a producer. I mean, we're looking at broadening it out. That's why it's like FireRock Talk. We want to talk everything the music industry, and you're one of the experts in this too. So it's like you're a natural co-host to be one of the people to help co-host this. I believe right now I've got about 5 different co-hosts I'm going to be using throughout the year with this. So, but with your knowledge and stuff like that, I mean, this is an exciting project for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I appreciate Tom the offer, to be one of those 5 alternating co-host, because again, I think it'll help you keep the show fresh that way. It's fun, like what we did on This Is Metal, where it's the same 2 guys all the time. We have that chemistry and everything, but I think you don't want to be a carbon copy of what we did before. And so that's one way of doing it. You have different hosts come on, they bring on their different influences. You obviously got a connection with all 5 people, so I think the show is going to really be special for that fact alone.
Absolutely. There's people that are in the industry, not in the industry. There's different people, musicians. I mean, the 5 people are, and one of them's on the other side of the world, so it's
wow.
One time, we're going to set some things up. It's just going to be, I want to just kind of shake things up, and it makes it easier for me to do it on my own time. When I had to leave This Is Metal, it's because my business had blown up. I just got so busy. I mean, love the show. The show is a great show. I hope people continue watching that. I think it was a stepping stone for me. It worked out great. And Jason, I thank you. I thank Leith for bringing me on there. I mean, I think it was something that I never expected to do, and I'm enjoying it. And I kind of missed it for the last month or so since I haven't been doing anything. So
Yeah,
this,
Tom, and you were sharing me that very fact several times. You thanked me for bringing you on board, and you told me, I until I started doing the show with you, Jason, you said I had no idea that hosting a show like that is something I'd even want to be doing. Talk a little bit about Tom, and when you knew that, hey, I can do something like this.
well, but I think about after the first year, I really got the groove. I know it sounds taking a long time, but it's something. It was natural from the beginning. But then after year one, it just kicked into me, and then unfortunately, I got so busy. It was. I was excited about this, and I was honest with everybody. Just said I have to leave, but I'm going to do something else. I'm trying to include everybody I can into it. I think it's really important to get the word out there, and I enjoy talking to fellow musicians. I have a different point of view, and as a record company executive too. To me, it's important. I look at the bands, I listen to the bands differently. I don't just I'm not criticizing. I'm listening to them going, okay, the arrangements, the mixes, everything. Because I'm a producer myself, so I've had a chance to work with some of the biggest bands in the world, some great players and things like that. And I really thought it was after year one is when I thought, this is something I might want to continue doing. And I think had I not got so busy, I probably would have continued on This Is Metal. It just got too busy, too hectic for me, you know?
And Tom, it was great having you come on board, and we're definitely going to miss you. But I can tell you, Tom, that you're really great at what you do. I mean, I think it's the fact that you are a musician. So when we would interview these guests and have them come on the show, you had that connection that I didn't with the guest. I mean, my role, I think, in the show is the fact that I'm just a music fan, and I want to support the bands and the music that I believe in and I support. But we have these guests come on, and you more so than me, you can much more relate because you know what it's like to write a song. You know what it's like to go in the studio and record a whole album, worth of material.
Absolutely. And I think that was what made the show us work together with that way. There was a different perspective. And as I took on the reins of running a record company, I even took I put a third hat on. And I went from musician to songwriter to, okay, now I want to help people. And I've been helping people. I'm producing some bands up here right now that I think are going to be very good. They're not on our label yet, but I'm trying to bring them to the level where they should be. And I'm producing some other bands. And I always produce my own band. I'm lucky enough to have produced a band that I had Ripper Owens singing, Joe Lynn Turner. I've had some great players. My next album is exciting. I'm just so excited for it. And what the future for Held Hostage is now. It's only going up. It's going up.
Wow,
And,
wow.
yeah.
Tom, and I love the background there behind you. And from what you were sharing with me before we went on air, that's going to be kind of be the face of the new show, the logo, if you will. Like everything you do, Tom. Just looking at that photo, it's so larger than life. It's like so. Talk a little bit about how you came up with that because it's beautiful.
Well, I wanted something a little bit different. So I wanted something, with the talk show. So I went with the microphone, the music, the guitar, the music. And I wanted people to see, like the figures of the people sitting there. We're going to have different guests. I just didn't want it to be two guys on there or whatever. I'm going to have everybody on here we can. And I want it to be a little bit of an open forum too. I want the guests to do all the talking. I'm going to ask somebody to sit back. And I don't care if they take 20 minutes. Let's let them get their stories out. I think that's more important than anything that I could do or you could do.
Yeah, that's one thing we discovered in doing This Is Metal that some of the best episodes ended up being the episodes where we asked a few questions, but then, like you said, we just sit there and like let the artist tell their story. I mean, one of those such episodes was the one with the roaming hillbilly, where he had a great, interesting story. I urge people to go look him up, but that was fun just letting him tell his story.
It wasn't. One of my favorites was Mark Farner. What a great story. I mean, when he sat back and he started talking, I could relate to him so much when he was talking about how he was dreaming songs. I woke up in the middle of the night, like having the songs in my head when he was talking about that. And just listening to him talk, it was amazing. I could listen to that guy for hours. I mean, that should have been 5 episodes. We could have done just with him.
Yeah.
He's such an interesting guy.
I mean, Closer to Home was the song specifically he was talking about, the writing of that song. And that's one of my favorite Grand Funk Railroad songs of all time. I mean, they pretty much all are, Tom, but if anybody knows the song we're referring to, it's kind of got schizophrenic kind of feel to the song. And he was kind of describing how that all came about and how he wrote out very interesting story.
Oh, absolutely. We had some great guests on. I mean, the sun don't shine guys. Love those guys. That was a great episode. We were lucky to have And we did Ripper came on and did some interviews for us.
Yeah, but
A lot of things we released, released music videos on there. The show, it really expanded out, and I want to continue on and make this thing grow. I think there's something here that I think it can be fun, as long as it's fun, and if I can get the time for it. That's my biggest thing. Writing albums, running a record company, plus I have another business I run, so I'm full speed all the time. I don't mind it. I love it.
let's tell the folks that don't know. You recently also in the last year, kind of for the first time, delved into acting, which is another new thing. You're kind of told me that, hey, I've now got an agent. I'm going to start doing some acting as well.
Yeah, so it started off, and I got to thank Ben Hicks for that when he invited me to do Midas Cove. I went out and did that, and then I got contacted by a big movie company. There's a movie they're going to start shooting in 2026, end of 2026, beginning 2027. And they've given me a major role, and I never expected to be an actor, but they said, listen, we really think you're perfect for this part. And the thing is, I mean, I'm an older guy. I got to get ripped up for this part.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm in pretty good shape. And they said, so, but it's going to be a fun time. I've read the script. It's an amazing script, and I'm excited to do it. I never thought I would be an actor. Thanks for asking about that. I forgot about that part.
Yeah. Tom, and another great thing, another great guest we had, two guests was I recently interviewed both these guys for a second time. Was producer and writer Bill Munich and of course our mutual friend Todd Hoban, who did the music for The Artist and the Astronaut. And I got to highlight this, Tom, because they were indeed a guest on the This Is Metal show. And people might be asking, that's not very metal. What do you have in, a musician who wrote a soundtrack and a guy that writes a documentary on This Is Metal? But you know what? The most metal thing, I think, is to kind of break the rules and go against the norm, because these guys had a great story to tell. We allowed them to tell their story. And of course, reason enough to have them on our show was the fact that they're associated with FireRock. And so I love the fact that we are able to have them on and tell their story.
Oh, and I've known Todd many years. Todd's an icon here near. I was happy when they came to me, and I'm FireRock's releasing the movie September 16th. The soundtrack comes out December 12th, and I'm also going to be doing 3 albums for Todd. And Todd's just an iconic musician here in New York and around the world. I mean, a lot of people know him, and I've known him many years. And I'm honored that he asked me to be the guy to help him.
And I got to say, Tom, because of those episodes in the recent interview I did with the guys, I became more familiar myself with who Todd Hoban is as a musician. I went on YouTube myself, and this last time when I interviewed him, and I wanted to, listen to some of his music, and great kind of 70s classic rock sounding stuff. And I don't know how the hell I missed Todd Hoban, but like I'm one of his newest, biggest fans, and I got to thank you for that.
Well, when I was younger, I used to go watch Todd. I was the guy in the stand. And then one day
Yeah.
I'm on the same stage with him, and then we're playing together. I mean, we just did a Christmas show last year, but it's just amazing how life changes. A lot of the people, I mean, Todd is just such a great guy. I've used his recording studios and stuff like that. And he's a spectacular, just a all true hearted guy. You'll never meet a nicer man than him. And everything he tells you is honest and is true. So dealing like people with that, honorable people, is what my record company's about and what I'm about. And I just love that. And Bill is a great guy too. And what the story they're putting out there, people need to hear. That's an amazing story. When I seen that movie, I watched it twice, and then I picked up my phone. I said, Todd, how do I get this movie out for you? He said, are you serious? I said, I love this movie. What can we do? Bill, him and I talked. We put it together. It goes out September 6th worldwide. Now it's going on DVD. It's streaming all over the world. I got deals, it'll be on Amazon Prime. It'll be over on Netflix. I'm putting it everywhere for these guys. So we want people just got to check it out. It'll be on Tubi, it'll be everywhere. Artists
and Tom, for anybody who wants to know how they can stream it, like you said, I believe September 16th is the day when they can start watching it on all those streaming stations.
Absolutely. Streaming, and they can buy the DVD. That's when it hits worldwide. It's already set up at the streaming service. And we're actually, it's going to be on iTunes too. We're going to put it over on iTunes. So.
And Tom, I'm so honored to be part of a new Fire Talk show. And yes, I am one of 5 alternating guest hosts, but that's quite an honor. And I do think for that reason alone, the show is going to be special, because you're going to have different guest hosts. Not going to be the same 2 people every time. But, when I first approached you about being the new co-host on the This Is Metal show, and I shared this with people before, I had no idea at the same time you had just launched FireRock Music Group, which of course is a record label you are president of. But real quick, I think another great thing about what you do is you think a guy that had this record label would only be pumping up the stuff on his label. What I love the fact about when you came on board This Is Metal as well as the new show, you said, "Oh, Jason, it's not just the new show too. FireRock Talk's not just going to be FireRock artists. It's going to be anybody that I want to have come on the show."
Absolutely. It's got to be diverse. I want to reach out to everybody. I don't, our Fire Rock artists will get on here too. I want to help them, but I want to help all the artists out there. I mean, I struggled. Nobody reached their hand out to me and said, "Hey, come on, let me pull you along." So I
Yeah.
grabbed onto it and climbed up myself and did it all myself. But that's what you got to do. I mean, when you're doing this stuff, there's a lot of musicians out there that just need a little bit of guidance. And if I can help them in any way, even a small way, that makes me feel good about it. You can't be selfish. There's so many people out there. Aren't you worried about competing with the bands in your label? I said, I want them to compete with me. I want them to be better than me. That's why I signed them. And they are. There's some great bands we've signed for Fire Rock, and I'm very proud of that. I mean, Mike Wilkerson's brought some great bands. You've actually brought some great bands on here. I mean, it's fantastic. It's a team effort here, and that's what it should be. I don't take credit for anything. I think the band should take all the credit.
Yeah, it's a big happy family, if you will, and I'm so honored to be part of it. And I got to share with people, Tom. When I initially reached out to you to become the new co-host of This Is Metal, it wasn't for any other reason than I thought you'd be a great co-host. I really had no expectations other than it's just going to be a lot of fun to do this. It was a lot of fun, and we had a chemistry that was immediate. We clicked right away. And I don't know what it was, but I'll tell you, the show blew up even bigger than we had originally, could have hoped for. How many times do you have a show that starts out with another co-host, they leave, and the show blows up even bigger and badder than ever?
Yep, and I think it helped. We put it over on Fire Rock Music TV, which is a great channel, and I hope everybody subscribes to that. And again, continue following This Is Metal. It's a great, great show. And I want success for everybody out through there. But you bringing me over there, I never imagined that. And then, like I say, Ben Hicks, through Michael Wilkerson, Ben Hicks brings me out, and I'm acting. I'm doing, I'm on this TV show there. And next thing I know, a major movie company calls me and says, "Hey, Tom, we think you'd be perfect for this part." I'm like, "Me? I'm not an actor." "Yes, you are. You are now."
Yeah, Tom, another thing I think we should share with people that you shared with me, and I know you haven't exactly got to that point yet with FireRock, but you were telling me eventually FireRock is also going to get into the book publishing business. You want to talk a little bit about that?
I absolutely want to help people get their books out there because I own a publishing company too. If people aren't published, they need help. I'll help them get published. But we want to put books out there. We're doing movies, obviously TV shows, music, everything. But the books, I think, is a big thing too. A lot of people need need an outlet to get their books out there, and we can help them. We work with Amazon, we work with Walmart, Target, everybody like that. We've got all the big stores out there. We have one of the biggest distribution networks in the world. We don't just put them in the United States. They're in Europe. They're in South America. We put them all over the world. And I think, and we also put them digitally too. They'll be on Amazon where they can buy it. They can go on, if they got the Kindle, they can buy it. I think that it's a great thing for people, and books people need to read. I mean, I know it sounds silly, but they really should educate themselves somewhat, or just sit back and read a good book. There's nothing like just relaxing and reading it.
Yeah. Interesting enough, I'm into other stuff besides music. I love pop culture stuff, and growing up, one of the things I really loved was, the classic 1960s Batman movie. Batman TV series, and I recently came across a book of all things about Cesar Romero, and it got into not just his life as the Joker, but his entire movie career, and talks a lot about his, how he became an actor and all that, and different movies he was in. So again, one of my childhood kind of heroes, the Joker, I'm reading a book about that. I don't really know too much about, his other movies, but I thought, okay, that's kind of interesting to read up on.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Batman wasn't on, but I mean, it's an iconic series, but wasn't only on for like 3 seasons or something like that. It wasn't a long series.
Yeah, Batman
it seems like it was
itself.
forever.
Now, Tom, Batman itself is interesting because it's like the character is like 85 years old. Now, years ago, I'm going to share a funny story with you about being a Batman fan. I came across this DVD they had in the Target video section, and it said Batman. I thought it was a new release, a cartoon or something. Had no idea what it was. Apparently, they had this old black and white theater theater shorts of Batman now look nothing like the modern day Batman. Almost look like kind of a gay superhero. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you just had to see it, and I burst out into laughter. I mean, you can go on YouTube and check some of the stuff out, and you'll see what I'm saying. It's kind of funny, but that's what Batman started out as, and now Batman is now the Dark Knight and what he is today. You know.
It's amazing how things evolve, and you can really watch it evolve over time. But the original Batman series to me was one of the best. I mean, I couldn't wait to get home from school to try to see that. I mean, just loved it. Stay tuned for next week. Same
Same
bat
bat
station,
time, same
same
bat
bat
channel.
station. Yeah, right. Oh, I love that stuff. Absolutely. And who knows who we're going to have on the show in the next year or so. But I think we're going to reach out. We're going to reach out for some of the big stars. And I've had a lot of people that have talked to me and said, "Hey, if you did something like that, we would probably come on there. We have people that would come on there." So it's like, why not do that? And the thing I want to do, I don't want it to be about me. I want to bring everybody into it. I want you,
Sure.
I want Mike, I want all our friends to come on here. That's what I'm saying. 5 co-hosts come on here. Everybody gets a chance at it. And it's just so much fun. And there might become a point where I can't do it. Maybe you'll host it, or maybe Mike will host it, or maybe
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
else will host it. You might be
And
getting
that's what
something.
happened when we used to do this metal show together. Oftentimes, Tom would have a live gig or something, or
Yeah.
he'd have a real estate job to go do or something, and we'd have a guest host fill in. But I always enjoyed doing the show with Tom. It was not quite the same, but we had that mentality of the show must go on. Because everybody, even the people tuning into the show, the viewers, they love tuning in every Tuesday. That we didn't want to let them down and not have a episode to tune into.
Yep. No, we had some loyal followers. I mean, we were getting thousands of views I thought it was fantastic what's happening, and I hope it continues happening. And
Now,
that's
now I'm not gonna let the cat out of the bag, Tom, yet. But I do want people to know that you and I are going to record the very first episode of FireRock Talk later today. Now, we're not going to reveal the guest just yet, but do you want to let people know when they'll be able to tune into that episode?
it's going to be next Tuesday. It's going to come out at 11 a.m. New York time, 8 a.m. Pacific time. We're going to release it on Fire Rock Music TV. So I think Tuesday is a great day, and it's going to be a fun episode. It's going to be a very interesting episode. I think we have like the perfect guest to come on. And found the perfect guest, and I appreciate that you're going to do the first show with me too. That's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's really literally picking up from where we left off with the This Is Metal show, and that was just this. I think was kind of our training wheels, if you will, for what you're about to do with the FireRock Talk.